As you saw in the previous lesson, Final Cut Pro X offers fast, automated collections of content based on keywords and clip analysis metadata. In this lesson, you'll explore how quickly you can organize, rate, manage, and find your footage in the event library. Before we dive into organizing footage, I want to talk about the event library as a general concept. In legacy versions of Final Cut Pro, your media was imported and managed from within the project window. Media was available within a project only if you explicitly imported, captured, or transferred media into it. In Final Cut Pro's new event library scheme, all the media you've ever imported is available all the time. The event library is therefore like a giant personal media catalog that's always accessible. That's why it's called a library. The only time you wouldn't see your footage is if one or more of your drives containing an event library is offline. The thinking behind events is that imported media always has a creation date associated with it and should be grouped accordingly. For example, if you imported video from your scuba trip to the Florida Keys, this material would be much easier to locate if it was grouped by the year it was recorded and placed into an event named Vacations. However you might think of events, at the end of the day, they are simply an organizational tool, much like a folder on your Mac desktop. And because events are date sensitive, Final Cut Pro gives you some great tools for viewing the media within them. You can view clips within each event as a film strip or a list view. The buttons to switch from one view to the other appear to the left of the gear menu. In film strip view, your clips are represented by multi-frame horizontal strips. You can adjust the size of these film strips by dragging on the duration slider. With the duration slider all the way to the right, the clip is represented by a single image thumbnail. By dragging the slider all the way to the left, a thumbnail is displayed for every half second of video, and the film strip gets longer. This view takes up more space, and you'll need to scroll to see the entire film strip for a given clip. The advantage of the film strip view is you can clearly see by the thumbnails where certain actions begin and end, particularly on shots like this Civil War battle. If the clip is longer than what can be displayed in the event browser, the clip appears with a serrated edge along the right side to indicate that the film strip continues into the next row. To identify the actual beginning and end of the clip, look for the rounded edges. I find that a good position to set the duration slider to is 10 seconds, because it can see most of the film strip and there are still enough thumbnails to see what's happening in the movie. There's also a clip appearance switch that gives you control over the clip height and a toggle for showing or hiding audio waveforms. If you're coming from iMovie, this is the view you're familiar with. If, however, your point of reference is Final Cut Pro, you'll most likely prefer working in list view, which is functionally similar to the browser window in legacy versions of the app. In this view, clip metadata is presented in a column layout, much like a spreadsheet. Metadata is information that describes each clip, such as the codec, duration, frame size, and so on. You can sort by specific metadata by clicking on a column header. For example, if you wanted to view all your clips by duration in ascending order, click the duration header. Clips with smaller durations are listed at the top, and clips with longer durations are listed at the bottom. Clicking the arrow will reverse the sort order from ascending to descending order. To rearrange the column order, drag on the header right or left. To add or remove column metadata, right-click on a column header to reveal a menu of options. Items with check marks indicate metadata columns already visible. Selecting a check-marked item will hide it from view, and selecting an unchecked item will display it. When you select a clip, its film strip appears at the top of the event browser, where you can skim through it and play it. To view the keywords applied to a clip, click the triangle next to the clip's name. Just below the Events Library pane is a button with a gear that will bring up a task menu for choosing various grouping options. By default, events are grouped by disk. If you don't want to see your mounted disk icons displayed, choose this option to hide the icons. You can also choose options for grouping events based on the year and month, or turning off the date grouping altogether. Showing the date range in the event list is helpful when you need to see how much time your event spans by month and year. You can also group the clips within an event by various sorting criteria. Select the reenactors event you imported in the previous lesson, then choose Group Clips By. A menu appears allowing you sorting choices such as the date the content was created or imported, the reel, file type, and so on. Choose Duration from the list and your clips will appear in duration range groupings. Choose File Type and your clips appear in file type groupings. I think you get the picture. There's also another option called Arrange Clips By, but the options are unavailable in List View. Click the Film Strip View button, then choose Arrange Clips By, and you'll be able to arrange your video thumbnails by the options listed. Choose Content Created, for example, and your thumbnails will be arranged according to the date they were initially imported. Also notice that the clip groupings by file type is still the primary grouping criteria. Take a few moments to experiment with various combinations of event groupings and clip arrangements. When you're finished, set the clip grouping back to None and return the event browser back to List View.